Hey, I have introduced this week's guest to many other people, and I tell people that I can describe him both physically, emotionally, mentally with 2 words. People look at me like I am completely full of it and out of my mind until I say Hawaiian shirt. At that point, they get a dumbfounded look on their face like, by golly, you've done it. But sitting across the table from me here, Adam LaFaber is more than Hawaiian shirts. Adam is the founder of Digital Sandwich, just down the road from our studios here in Cuyahoga Falls. It is that way, isn't it? It's that way down the road. They have, to put it politely, a unique approach to things that largely due to a unique staff and your mind that gives them an angle on so many things that just isn't often seen. Unlike Adam and his shirts, which are very often seen. So that is what we're going to get into. Stay tuned. This is going to be a lot of fun. Adam.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on. It's funny because normally when we're in the studio, you're sitting here.
Right.
I sat there once.
Yep.
While you sat here. It's for The Secret Ingredient is the name of your show. We had a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. How the turntables have turned. Turned
up.
Yes. Now, is that with 3 C's?
I don't know.
No?
It's with reckless abandon.
Correct. So
yes.
You have Digital Sandwich, which is quite unique. So, I mean, we do not have time for your full story because you are not known for your brevity. Neither am I. Mm-hmm. So to me, in one sentence, this is where I'm going to make this whole thing tough on you because I'm going to ask for 1 and 2 sentence answers.
Sure.
Why is Digital Sandwich different than other marketing agencies out there? Like if I just Google someone and be like, oh, marketing, 1 sentence.
Honestly, because we believe in a triple win. I think that's the biggest difference is we believe that there is a way for the business, your business, and the team all to win. So Digital Sandwich, the client, and the team. Now, if you think about that, that is not how most businesses operate. They operate with top-line revenue and profit in mind, right? I think that we could construct something where everyone wins.
That makes sense. It's funny. It's why when we talk about stuff, we have that similar value. I mean, I said on yours is success is a shared thing. Mm-hmm. And I've really I evolved into that. And you have, when you were first starting Digital Sandwich, you've kind of mentioned that win-win-win. Mm-hmm. We're not quoting Michael Scott here. This is a very different win-win-win.
Correct.
This is one that can actually exist.
Yes.
There's not a manual for this. There's not no. What right now, there's AI, there's a ton of other things. What is one of the biggest challenges in the marketing industry right now?
Knowing what it looks like in 90 days. And then in 90 days, knowing what it looks like in 90 days. I think that this is the word unprecedented got overused during the lost years of COVID.
Right.
But we are certainly in some unprecedented times here. I think that agencies are not going to be what they are today in a year. No. I think that that's changing. I think that it's changing for the better, though. I think that industry got a little fat there for the last few years. There's a lot of marketing agencies. I hope to still be one of them here in a year or two.
It makes sense. The unprecedented being beat into beat into the ground like a fence post and then buried.
That's the right word, though. These
really
are,
is.
And it's not just AI. It's not just AI. It is the technology and the automation that goes along with it.
Right.
And if you're not kind of daisy chaining AI with additional tech and automation, scraping, auto thing, like things that are happening behind the scenes. If you're not doing all of that, you probably just saw a 60 Minutes thing about generative AI and you're like, ooh, that's cool. I can make a picture of Timmy with a ball.
There are some,
and it's cool. It's neat, but it's not.
It's not the thing.
It's not the thing. It's not what's changing things.
No, and it's funny. I mean, I think you've hit the head of the nail. It's not just how it happens; it's the end result.
Right.
Because what you guys use, I mean, think of Google. Google's adapting to this, so that's a moving target. So that, I mean,
well, think about what you just said. Google is adapting to this.
Yes, they have to. So,
I mean, what else out there is Google? It's moving Google. If you don't think this is a thing, it's moving Google.
Google's not driving the ship.
Google.
They're reacting to the ship.
Yes.
Yeah. They realize that. I mean, they realize that there is a bigger nesting doll for this.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
Like what's possible.
It really is. It's so. That being said, what advice would you give to a business, big or small, that is looking to improve their online presence besides call you? And I know saying call you isn't you.
No. What I would say is try to figure out how to do it yourself and then get some help implementing it yourself. Weird advice for an agency to give, right?
It is, but it isn't. I can see it, and especially knowing you, it is it's that figure it out. So I've been talking with Cuyahoga Valley Career Center. I'm on their advisory board for their media program. And I told the teacher there, these students need to learn how to use AI. Now,
absolutely,
they need to know how a compressor works. They need to know how a denoiser works. They need to know how they kind of work so they can put better inputs in. But that seems to go along with that. What you're saying there, it's if you know what you're doing, if you know how the sausage is made, I mean, you may not want to eat it, but for the most part, if you know how the sausage is made, you might be able to appreciate it more, and you're probably going to be able to enjoy it more.
Well, let me elaborate on that just a little bit.
Please do.
Yeah,
because I muddied it.
No, I don't think I was terribly clear with totally what I meant. It is, on one hand, I don't think that it is worth the highest and best use of time for a business owner to figure out how to do marketing.
Sure.
On the other end of that spectrum, however, is no one, if they knew what they were doing, is going to do a better job at marketing their business than the actual owner.
Sure.
Right? They have buy-in, they have knowledge, they have context, they have history, they have passion. They have all of these ingredients, if you will, right?
I see what you did.
I did. They have all of those things. What they don't have is the strategic understanding or the tool understanding. They don't know to use StreamYard. They don't know to use Riverside. They don't know to use a Rode mic, right? They don't know. But if you were able to get them the overarching strategy and what needs to be done and how to pull all those tactics together, especially given this new round of technology and AI, the tools are the worst that they've ever been today. And they're better.
Yeah, every day.
They're the worst they're ever going to be, and they're the best they've ever been today. And then tomorrow that changes again, right? So they're going to have at their fingertips. It's sort of like you remember when you went to college and all of a sudden you were allowed to use a scientific calculator? Like you get that shit taken from you in high school. Like, can't do that. Nope. But college, yeah, you have the keys to the kingdom.
Sure.
And that is now what is available. So I think what you're going to see happening is a lot of businesses are going to attempt to bring this in-house, and I think they should, with the assistance of someone like me.
I think I've got an analogy for that.
Yeah.
There's the do-it-yourself home person. Mm-hmm. They can swing a hammer. They know what they want.
Yeah.
They need someone with that finish ability. Yeah. They can hang the drywall. They can put the plaster up. They can do that stuff. but they need someone that's got that finished carpentry, that's someone that can make that cut, that's going to make that fit perfectly. Because they've screwed it up a few times, and they know the right way to do it now.
Yeah, and they've got skin in the game. They have screwed it up a few times, and so they know when it's time to call the professional. Where somebody maybe that hasn't before doesn't, and they've got a bigger issue on their hands, right? So you have all over the spectrum, right? So the DIY is exactly that's exactly what we've done. Traditional marketing services, like what you would think of, which we'll do your social media management, we'll build your website, we'll do blah blah blah, this the other thing. That's done for you. That's one end. They need everything done for them. I don't think that's as many businesses today as it was 2 years ago.
Even 6 months ago, I don't think.
Right. And it's going to be less move out another year, right?
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, you have those DIYers, right? You have those folks that want to do it themselves and whatever, and then they, end up, cutting an electric line and flooding their backyard. I don't know that DIY is the right. You need some guidance.
Correct.
You need perhaps some oversight. I need oversight in general. So
we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, we probably should. But so you have the DIY, and I think where a bunch of folks are going to fall is right in the middle with done with you. And that's how we want to look at it, is we're going to help set up your strategy. We're going to help you pick out the tools. We're going to help you get those tools set up. We're going to help automate as much as we can. And then we're going to ask you how you would like us to engage you. What help do you now need on top of that? None? Cool. Awesome. We'll be here when you need us. Some? Great. We want to engage you how you want to be engaged. That also reverses the sales process too. So I'm not selling anything.
Sure. So as a little bit of an off the wall.
Yeah.
Where did Digital Sandwich, the name, come from? Everything with you has a story. There's nothing random.
It's how I explain marketing. So recipe and ingredients and size. Okay, so sandwich is the perfect analogy for me because I can't throw a piece of bologna on a plate and say there's a sandwich. You need the vessel, right? You need you need the bread. You need the accoutrements, right? You need some additional ingredients in order to make it a sandwich, right? Sure. And also, you can have peanut butter and bread, that's a sandwich, or you can have a Dagwood or a Reuben or some pressed panini, right, with all the fixins.
All the fixins, yeah.
Right? So we can go from very simple to quite complex. Focaccia, all sorts of bread.
What is focaccia?
It's a fancy-ass bread.
I'm going to need to look that up.
Yeah, focaccia. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
It's a fancy ass bread.
Yeah, it's fancy.
When he knows
we call it focaccia.
Doesn't even know if he's pronouncing it right.
So this is what I found that owners were doing with their marketing. They were throwing bologna on the plate and saying, "I'm doing marketing." Bologna, then maybe the bread. Well, I tried that programmatic. I did that. I'm like, okay, cool. What is programmatic? What does that mean? I don't know. Well, I built my website in Weebly myself. It looks like it.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yeah. So essentially, we're throwing ingredients are sort of like tactics. Ingredients are great. We need them. However, it's really about the recipe, the strategy, how we put it all together. And then the beauty is we can make it as small or as big as we need to.
That makes
Digital
sense.
Sandwich. Not to be confused with analog soup. That's different.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay. It's funny because the other thing that I look at with that is there is Gordon Ramsay. You could give he and I the same ingredients, and somehow his sandwich is probably going to taste better than mine.
I would. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's no argument here. I mean, I have chicken like six times a week.
It's a great point.
You guys just went through a big exercise on mission statement, because you talked about that with your crew. To me, what's interesting is you are very much a visionary. You see stuff that is out there.
Yeah. Out there and out there.
Yeah. There's out there. There's out in left fields, and there's what county are we in? Mm-hmm. You can see those other counties. How so many business owners have a problem with that, though, because I've talked with numerous ones that are like, hey, okay, this is the fun, cool thing. This is the fun, new, cool thing to work on. I know I've got this problem over here that I need to handle. How, as the visionary type, how do you manage that? Because you still get some of the problems taken care of.
So I'll let you in on a secret on the visionary integrator thing, the EOS spectrum or whatever. I recently took that survey.
I need to do that.
I am almost equal. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think I'm an 87 and an 84 or something.
Really?
Yeah. I can integrate.
Did you cheat?
No. I can integrate. I absolutely can. And if you've ever walked in when I'm whiteboarding and I'm like, come on, let's go. And then
you're on a mission. And
then I'll go sit back down and go, okay, continue. I know how to integrate. I just don't like it nearly as much. I much prefer to vision.
So how have you overcome that though? Or is it just, damn it, I got to do this?
It's all for the greater good, right? So surrounding myself with the people that I have, they need vision. They do more integrating. They do more of the stuff. That does not mean that their creativity is stifled. However, that would be stupid.
Right.
Why would we hire really smart, good people and then tell them exactly what you want done? As a matter of fact, we have a whole process for that where we define what done looks like and then hand it to the person that's going to do it and say how is up to you. I am not going to define how.
That's awesome.
I will define what.
Right.
Because you need a clear destination.
Sure.
And I've not been perfect in my delivery of what we call WWD's what and why doc. It's based loosely on the impact filter from Who Not How. Dan Kennedy, I think. Fantastic.
You recommended that one to me. I did read
fantastic book. And the impact filter and the WWD that came out of that has been pretty transformational because it's not fair to say, oh, figure it out, whatever you want to do. Like that sounds great, but it's freaking terrible. Anarchy and it doesn't work, right? Sounds good. Oh, freedom. I can do whatever I want. No, because now you're like, okay, I'm done. And you're like, Adam never likes what I give him. Right. Like, well, yeah, because it's not right.
No.
But it's because I never defined the end. I never defined the goal. I never defined what done looks like. What a beautiful marriage that is. Here's what done looks like.
Yep.
Be as creative as you want to be with how.
That makes it's funny. The analogy that came to my mind for that is you can tell someone, hey, go pick this up in Cleveland. Sure. Where? Or go pick up at 123 Main Street in Cleveland. Yes. There is a big difference between telling those people that, and you will have a very different result.
And then there's a big difference saying, and you're going to take Route 8, and then you get off at 480, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. Try and do that with an under 30 and see if you get your thing from 123 Main Street. You might get your thing upside your head.
Correct.
And honestly, not even just an under 30. Anybody who wants that level of oversight, no one. And the workforce will not tolerate it anymore.
And especially
it used to, it won't anymore.
No, and it's a big difference too. Your attitude about that is very, I guess I would say progressive, because you just don't care. I want this end result, get it done in a reasonable amount of time, and I'm happy.
Sit on an airplane, sit in a beach, stay at home. I don't care.
Just done.
Done.
This level of quality, we're good.
Yeah.
This is something else. So what's interesting here is there's two podcasts that I'm going to be having here. So they're both going to be on the same channel. One of them is Podcasting the Podcaster. Obviously, you spent a fair bit of time here in the studio. You were just recording remotely before this.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
The other one that I'm starting, that's part that I believe you're going to be involved in, is called Obsessed.
Oh.
I've met a number of people recently that just are bananas about things. There's someone that she dresses up as Disney-like characters. Started talking with her. She makes all the costumes by herself. And she finds all the stuff to make the costumes at thrift stores. She has an entire bedroom in her home dedicated to these costumes. And I'm like, this is cool. It's cool. It's funny. So the other thing is too, is there's so many people like, hey, I've got a business idea, business thought. It is Sunday evening at 8:30. I can't tell anyone. Oh, I can tell Adam. So to me, the thing that I noticed, you're constantly thinking about stuff with Digital Sandwich. I mean, constantly. It doesn't seem like it's ever too far off of your mind.
Right.
It's not a burden, though, to you.
No.
There's days where, I mean, I've been through the studio on a Saturday morning and I drive past, there's a light on at Digital Sandwich Agency.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're obsessed with this? What has you hooked? What gives you that, oh my God, I mean, because you've got an obsession with it. And I think it's I dare I say, a healthy obsession, because you love it. You're happy when you're doing this stuff. Yeah. What's the obsession? So,
couple of things. Great question.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be a longer answer than you intended.
No, we're good with that.
Not 1-2 sentences, because there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Number one, I would say work-life blend, I have found, is less elusive and more valuable and rewarding to me than work-life balance. I have no problem picking up the phone and answering the phone about a work something or other at 8 o'clock, if that means that I can go to lunch with my granddaughter at 12, right? I have no problem with that. And these weird sacred cows that we hold on to about work must be here, it must be done there, it must be done this way, with this rigidity nonsense, is nonsense. It is. Now, in some places, I get it. Like the store needs to be open from 9 to 6 and whatever, and blah, blah, blah.
There's certain
but
things
you know
where
what? You can have additional shifts, and they maybe don't need to be 8 hours. Maybe they can be 6, and whatever. We can figure that out, and by all means, problems are meant to be solved. That's actually how we all make money. Problems aren't to be afraid of.
No.
And shy away from. Problems mean that whoever provides the solution makes money.
Yes.
Right? So, right off the rip, work-life blend makes a whole lot of sense to me. Now, the work itself, right? The work itself is this, and I didn't know this. I ended up in marketing because I realized I wasn't very good in sales when I did not have the opportunity to educate. I am deadly if I have the opportunity to educate.
Sure.
It is game over. You're buying. You are purchasing from me. If I do not have the opportunity to educate you, and or I don't believe in the product,
we've all been there
as much, right? I left Revel. I ended up at Verizon, and then right. So then at one point I loved Revel, and then Revel was ahead of its time, and then it was behind its time,
right.
Then Verizon, and people were coming in saying, "I want the iPhone," and I'm like, "Why?" And they didn't have an answer. It was because. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't get to uncover needs. And I'm not very good at this. So where is this education happening? Digital marketing. Right? So I needed to go upstream, which, by the way, you mentioned mission statement. That's part of the mission statement. We always are looking upstream. So I needed to go upstream, and that was digital marketing. Well, happy coincidence, it is a marriage of exactly what the itches that I need scratched: creativity, psychology, technology. Sign me up every freaking time.
Yeah.
I mean, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning for a reason, dude. Like I'm ready.
Yeah.
I am ready. The third reason that I'm obsessed, this is a little thick, probably.
Now, is that with the 3 C's?
I know how to win at work.
Yeah.
I know how to win whenever I walk in the 4 walls of Digital Sandwich. We know what the rules are. That is not the case outside of the 4 walls.
Sure.
Life punches you in the mouth. You have zero control over hardly anything, right?
Correct.
I know how to win at work.
That's
I
awesome.
don't totally know how to win outside of work.
No.
So when people say they need to escape or da-da-da, whatever, I'll escape to the beach and work. It's bizarre, but that's how my plate is too full.
Yeah.
But what can I control on my plate? Work is way more controllable.
Sure. Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
Than family, than relationships, than
oh, yeah.
And I love my family but don't get me wrong, but there are things that happen in our lives we have zero freaking control over. None. Mike Tyson has one of the best quotes I've ever heard.
I quote him all the time on that.
It's
Everyone
phenomenal.
has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah. And life punches you in the face. Now, I'm not saying that work is all rainbows and, puppy kisses, but, you get punched in the face there too, but there are rules there.
And there's the rules. And it's funny. I love that you said this because it's not only that, but there's a way to disconnect from it and take a step back and be like, okay, what's the 30,000 foot view?
Yeah.
If I implement point A to thing B to part C, I can solve this problem. Whereas in the rest of your life, you can't always do that. You kind of look at it and like, that's just a problem.
That's just a problem.
It's someone else. I can't do anything about it.
There's a fourth piece to this. There's a fourth piece to this. And that is sort of back to that triple win thing. Marketing is really the only thing that I know of that our measure of success is gauged by our client's measure of success.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? There is no take. We don't take anything. There is no uneven exchange if we're doing this right. I want that to be the happiest check they write every month. I want them excited to write that check, right? Because if they're winning, we're winning. We only win if they're winning.
It's funny because marketing is one of those things that's so tough because when someone writes a check for a machine, they now have something physical sitting on their production floor that they can look at and they can be like, great, we can make 10 more widgets per hour. With marketing, they have to kind of put that out into the ether a little bit. They aren't putting it on their floor, but it's such a great investment because it's the thing that's going to make it so they can sell those 10 extra widgets. Because otherwise, that machine's just going to sit there and they're like, look, we got a machine. It's got dust on it, but we got a machine.
Well, if you're not doing marketing, what are you doing? You are beholden to your ability to network.
Right.
And sell yourself. Like if there's no component of this going on while you're sleeping, while you're eating, while you're in the podcast studio, right? If there's nothing happening, you can only grow as large as your personal network and your willingness, time, and ability to work your personal network. You're tied to it.
Yeah. 100%.
And the ROAS, the ROI, all that you mentioned, the return is going to continue to get harder and harder to measure because of third-party data, all like that, cookies, pixels, et cetera.
It's
dark social. It's going to get harder and harder and harder. But yet, it's funny. It may simply be, how do you measure the tweak in messaging on your headline of your website, of your hero image, that takes people from going, what the hell do you do, to I get it, I'll buy, right? Like, how do you measure that?
Right. And it may not be an instant uptake. The day you do it, it doesn't instantly uptick, whereas the machine, it does. So people look to that. And the problem is the marketing that you spend today may make someone buy in 3, 6, 8, 10, 12 months.
Well, certainly depends. I mean, if you have a long sales cycle, I mean, some of our clients have, $25,000 to $100,000 ticket items.
Yep.
That sale doesn't happen on a website. They don't search. click buy, right? Like
that's not like Amazon where it's 3 clicks or less.
And you know what? That's not how anybody freaking buys on Amazon either. They don't search, click buy.
Yeah.
They search,
Right.
They search, they click.
They refine the search.
The boots follow them around for 3 weeks on every site they go to.
Yes.
And then they get an email. Oh yeah, I did want to buy those. And then they buy.
Right.
Right. Like the customer journey is
it's not instant.
Way, way, way more complex than we like to admit it. Business owners think that it's called a seller journey. There's no such thing as a seller journey. And it's the customer freaking journey.
It's funny because people, when they buy those boots, they don't think that they've had this long journey with these boots. They forget about that. And that's what makes it so tough for them to think, oh, well, I saw this 12 times.
No, you probably saw it about 70.
Right. You saw it about 70. You remembered 5 of them. And finally on the 7th that you remember, it was the 71st time, you pushed the button. Yeah. So that's the...
Imagine if all 70 of those touches were you personally.
Oh, boy.
It's a lot of touching.
Yeah, no, I'm already creeped out.
Yeah, way too much touching.
So I'm going to ask you put you on the spot questions.
Yeah.
These are difficult. These are super difficult. 10 words or less. Describe your favorite Hawaiian shirt. I think I've stumped him. I broke Adam.
2-piece matching top and bottom flamingos and bananas.
That's wonderful. That was
8 words.
That was well done. And see how I tied that into the beginning of the episode there too. Yeah. That was the goal there. How many times per month does someone walk into Digital Sandwich and ask for a menu?
Not so much a menu anymore. It used to be menu, but at least 10, 12 times a month they'll walk in and go, "This isn't a sandwich place, is it?" We don't really get the menu question anymore. Okay. Once we added agency to the door, people are still confused by it.
Right. They see a sandwich.
I think they think that it's like, I don't know. What do you think a digital sandwich agency is? Like an internet cafe? Are we in Budapest? Is Jason Bourne going to come tumbling out the wall?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm hoping to find slot machines in there.
We can do that.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
What is one word you hate to hear?
No.
Describe Hot Boy Summer to our audience in one sentence. And I know you're going to use the world's longest run-on sentence for this.
Hot Boy Summer is a couple of originally strangers attempt at male self-care because we don't do it real well.
I love it. That's a great answer. And everything I know about what you guys do, it is that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
What is one thing that you would like to tell the entire world? If all 8 billion people could hear you say one thing, what would it be?
Write yourself the permission slip.
I love it. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think that is a great place to end. Adam, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
We'll put a link to the Digital Sandwich, the Secret Ingredient podcast in our show notes. Adam's obviously entertaining, so make sure you go check them out, especially if you're interested in marketing and people that are involved with it. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, all that other happy stuff. You guys know the drill. I will see you very soon. We've got some more good stuff coming up.